directly from my face. Yep, just bend your knees.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, so wearing all this stuff reminds me of being a kid learning how to ride a bike. And it's just it's a lot. It's necessary, but it's a lot. So I'm just gonna, for the sake of this conversation, take these things off. Woo. But speaking of protection as a child, right? When our parents wrapped us up in these clunky knee pads and elbow pads and helmets, they were trying to protect us because they love us, because they value us, right? They want us to be well. Whew, they want us to be okay. And so this morning in my journaling session, I was thinking about love and how we say this, like, you are loved, you are loved. Like, that's one of my favorite things to say to myself and to other people. But the question is, like, how do we know that we're loved? Like, where is the proof of this love? And like, we can know it on paper, but sometimes it's really hard for us to remember that we are loved. It's hard for us to imagine that people like ourselves could be loved unconditionally. And I was sitting and I was journaling about God's love. And so I want to read this to you, what I wrote this morning, a section of what I wrote this morning. I said, God loves me. How can I tell? He made autumn, jazz, taste buds, hummingbirds, butterflies, pizza, the beach, sunlight. I'm surrounded by God's love. I like to believe that when God created all this, He imagined how much I'd love tulips and sunflowers and orchids. God knew I'd laugh at the squirrel, sing to the moon, thank the ocean, and hug the tree. I am drenched in love and in joy, surrounded by beauty and crafted with care. All around me are reminders of love, reminders that I am made up of love. I am worthy of that same awe-inspired, breathtaking, healing, gentle, miraculous love. The tree shades me, helps me breathe. The songbird serenades me. The sunlight heals me. Cool breeze blesses me. It's hot. Good food nourishes me. How could I not be loved? So that's what I wrote down. And I just kind of want to talk a little bit about that, because even sometimes when we're looking for love from people. We're looking for people to affirm and confirm our existence, our love, our relevance, our importance, our belonging. And I think all that is fine and good, but all around you are reminders that you are loved. Think about it. Like, I'm around trees right now. These trees are providing shade and cool air and a breeze and oxygen. The trees are loving me, and I'm supposed to be loving the trees back, right? In whatever way that looks like. Maybe, not littering or hugging a tree or removing a rope from around a tree, right? Like, there's an exchange of love that's happening even as I step out into nature that we often overlook. So this idea of like looking for love, we look so far and so wide, and we look through so many people looking to see the reflection of love that we wish to see back on ourselves. And I really feel like all around us are miraculous signs of the fact that we are loved, that we are cherished, that we are important. But oftentimes we don't appreciate it, or we destroy it. We destroy, because we don't think that we're worthy of love, we destroy or overlook the things that seek to love us, right? Including nature. Nature wants to love us. I really do think God is beautiful like that, in that He created the birds to sing to us. He created the squirrels so I could laugh. Like, love is all around us. And then think about love inside of you. First of all, let's talk about the act, right, of creating you. The act of cells coming together to form you. The act of God knitting you together in your mother's womb, right? The act of your mother carrying you in her womb. Like, that is labor, but it's love, right? It's a labor of love. And far too often, we're looking for these huge signs that we are loved, but the signs are all around us if we just pay attention to them. Look inside of yourself. You're made up of cells. You're made up of a community that loves you, that seeks to protect you, take care of you. How could you not be loved? Think about all the things you enjoy in life. Like I said earlier, I love pizza, I love the beach, I love my friends, I love laughter, I love nature. I love nature, right? And God, I really do believe, call me delusional, whatever you want to call me, but I think it's just beautiful. I really do think that God created all of this for us to enjoy, not to take advantage of, not to exploit, but for all of us to enjoy because God loves us. It's proof. It's proof right there. The beautiful feelings that we feel, the love that we feel for other people, the pleasure, the enjoyment. You have taste buds. You can taste beautiful foods. That's love. We all have the capacity for love and the capacity to be loved and the capacity to recognize love all around us. Here comes that yellow jacket again, so I'll probably have to get out of here soon. But either way, like, how could you not be loved? Do you see all this beauty around you, all this beauty created for you to enjoy, for your pleasure? How could you not be loved? The earth loves you. We just got to love it back, right? Your body loves you. We just got to love it back. How are you speaking to yourself? What are you putting inside of your body? What are you consuming? Not just eating, but like, what are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you reading? What are the thoughts that you're allowing to take up space in your mind and your body? Like, your body's listening. Your mind is listening. Your soul is listening. Spirit is speaking. But can we hear? In this moment, like, I have breath in my lungs. I have the capacity to hear, the ability to hear and process sound. See the beautiful green. And I think, like, even in some cultures, green is the color of love, right? Like, green is like the love color. I know that we're always told, like, red is love. But no, like, in a lot of cultures, green is love. And that makes sense to me because I'm surrounded by nature. And nature, for the most part, is a lush green. We're surrounded by green, you know? And too often we forfeit the green of the trees for the green in our pockets, right? Thinking that that is love. Thinking that if it's not green money, right, it's green, like being envious of other people, like being envious of what they have and what they can accomplish. But you can accomplish the same things. You're just as worthy as them. And so when we see that green, may we be reminded of God's love, of the love and the things that are happening inside of you, right? The love that's all around us that sometimes we fail to recognize. How could you not be loved? You are loved. You are the embodiment of love. You are handcrafted by love. You were created by love. You were carried by love. Love flows through your veins, right? If we're thinking about even our ancestors and the people that came before us, we're standing on their shoulders. That is love. We're drenched in love. We're drowning in it, right? But sometimes when we're looking through like empty vessels, empty people, empty situations, empty circumstances, things that just don't give back anything, right? When we're looking to these things to satisfy us, we often feel unloved, unworthy, right? We feel insignificant, you know? But the truth is that sometimes because people don't have love within themselves, they can't mirror that back to you. They don't have the capacity. And what can you do as a person filled with love is love them anyway. And love does not mean take their abuse or their harm or all these different things in the name of love. No, it means loving yourself even more. Because I feel like there's a freedom that comes when we love ourselves, but also when we see other people loving themselves as well. We're inspired. We're inspired to love ourselves better. And I have like a morning exercise that I do where I ask myself, like I fill in a blank. So I say, I am blank. I am grateful for blank. I release blank. I put on blank. I am learning blank. One thing I can do to bring myself joy today is blank. One expansive thing I can do today is blank, right? And if I really trusted God, I would blank. And the next one, if I knew that I was enough, loved, safe, perfect as I am right now in this moment, I would X, Y, and Z. And I would love for you to answer that question. If you knew that you were loved, that you were covered in love, smothered in love, made up of love, what might you do? What would you stop doing? What might you consider? What might you believe? Who might you become if you knew that you were loved? A lot of us are seeking fame, money, accolades, all these things, looking for love outside of ourselves. And the whole time, it's within. It's within and without. And the world reflects back to us love. Empty vessels, empty people who don't have love obviously cannot reflect that back to you. But all around us, there is love. There are messages of love. If we're just willing and open and available enough to see and hear it. We lack nothing. Like, just sit here and listen to nature. This is love as God intended. the stillness a knowing, right? Nature knows. Nature knows it's loved. Nature doesn't ask. Nature intrudes. Nature does what nature does because nature takes up space knowing that it is loved. Whether it is the bee, right, that's harassing you, or the curious squirrel, or whatever it is, like there are constant reminders that you are enough and that you are loved and that you're worthy. And if the butterfly finds itself worthy enough to land on you, to land in some flowers somewhere, or to drink some sweet nectar, may you drink the sweet nectar of life. You're just as worthy and as beautiful as that butterfly. Don't hoard these experiences thinking you have to be somebody else worthy enough to experience them, because you're already worthy and you're already enough. So, you are loved. It's not a question. It's not up for debate, right? Again, the chances of you being born is 1 in 400 trillion. That sounds intentional to me. I know people have different belief systems and different, things that they follow, but you're not here on accident. You're here made of love, surrounded by love, and you're here to love, right? And our capacity to love others reflects the capacity in which we love ourselves. I do push back on that idea of like, oh, you can't love anybody else unless you love yourself. I don't think that's true. I think that we're just looking for confirmation, right, from other people that we're allowed to believe that we're worthy of love, and you are. And I hope that you're reminded of this fact and of this truth. It's a fact. It's a truth. All right, so keep loving yourselves. I'm going to keep skating, and I will talk to you all in the next video. You are loved. It's not a question. The question is, can you be open to the fact that you are loved without having to do anything, having to prove anything to anybody else? You are loved naked coming into this world, and you'll be loved naked going out. No amount of money, followers, friends, whatever. No amount of degrees can change that. And I really do feel like if people knew that they were loved, one, they'd be kinder and loving to other people, but also to themselves. We'd give ourselves grace. We'd allow ourselves to experience pleasure and joy. We take more chances and more risks because the outcomes of those risks don't mess with the love that we have, nor how loved we are. So, I'm gonna get back to skating. Let me actually see if I can do this. Woo! All right, we're back to skating, and I will talk to you in the next video. Yay! As Jamal's walking up to me to help me. Thank you, baby. Woo! Thank you.
You want to hit stop?
Huh?
You want to hit stop?
Yes.